Myanmar, once again in the news in a bad way, sadly. 2 years on since the military coup there and the arrest of Aung San Suu Kyi and the democratically elected government. Now, reports come out that the production of opium is increased sharply in Myanmar, rising to a 9-year high, according to the UN. Almost 795 metric tons of opium produced in 2022, double the production of 2021. This can only be bad for the people inside Myanmar, for people around the region, around the world, for the opium trade. I mean, I guess it's good, in quotes, for the opium trade, but it's going to be so devastating for people's lives.
And look, I don't think this is going to be a wake-up call for ASEAN, because ASEAN has been, as an entity, as a governmental entity, has been absolutely useless in dealing with Myanmar in terms of making any difference. And Glenn, as you point out, where is all of this heroin going to go? The heroin's going to go to be used in Vietnam. It's going to be used in Thailand. It's going to be used in China, let alone in other parts of the world. So now, because the governments here have been incapable, unwilling to insert themselves and stop the atrocities that are happening in Myanmar, it's now going to come back and hurt them in their countries. Does this mean that they're going to make any difference? I doubt it. But what's happening in Myanmar, right? You had COVID, you've got all the sanctions that are going on, you've got the economy being destroyed by the junta so that you don't have any businesses. So what are these poor people going to do? They can't get jobs in factories anymore. They can't get jobs with foreign companies. So they're going back to the poppy fields, and they're cultivating the poppy there. And they're not getting the money. It's about the only money they can make, but the money's all going to the drug lords, and the damage is being done in countries outside of Myanmar, and yet countries still refuse to do what they need to do to get the junta out. And so it's just trouble upon trouble upon trouble, and now the damage is spreading beyond Myanmar.
But what can we do here, Steve? We've talked many times on this show about this issue and this ASEAN acceptance that they do not interfere in domestic politics in the region. I'm looking at figures here. The military junta killed 165 children last year, their own children. So the global emphasis continues to be on Ukraine. This is an internal war. This is an internal conflict. They are literally killing their own people. Now you've got the poorest selling heroin. You've got children dying. Same question as Ukraine. Where does this end, and how does it end?
Well, it only ends when the governments in the region, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, come together and get Myanmar. They're the ones who can put the most pressure on Myanmar. You're not going to see the U.S. and the EU come in like they did in Ukraine. Maybe they should, but you're not going to see that happen.
They won't. No way.
And you're not going to see India and China do anything. Right. So it's going to, and the junta is going to do what it's going to do. So the pressure has to come from the neighbors. The pressure has to come from the people who have the investment in Myanmar. That investment's coming mostly from Southeast Asia. There's not a lot of U.S. investment, right, and EU investment. A little bit, but not nearly as much as there is coming from within ASEAN to Myanmar. They're the ones who are going to have to make a difference. Now, because the drug use is going to go up in countries like Vietnam and Thailand, and heroin addiction is going to get worse, and now people in other countries are going to die, not just in Myanmar. Will they do anything? I'm not holding my breath, because we haven't seen anything really concrete happen. We've got this 5-point plan that never been implemented.
Well, let's look. You're in the business communities of Southeast Asia. Are you seeing any pushback? Are you seeing investment being pulled out of Myanmar in any way at all?
Well, you're seeing some Western investment pulling out. You're seeing some compliance with sanctions. That's part of what's causing the problem, right? Because now that you don't have the Western investment, you don't have other foreign investment into Myanmar, you don't have these good companies that have better wages, and that's what's driving the people into the poppy fields, and why you've got this 9-year high in terms of opium production, in addition to a lack of any really good government in Myanmar as well. So no, you are seeing it. That's the issue.
Yeah. All right, Steve, thanks. We'll hope that we hear a positive statement coming out about ASEAN going to do something about this in the very near future. But
any day now.
Don't hold your breath. Okay.